Hey, today I wanted to show you the diesel setup on my 1997 Mazda Bongo Friendee. There's a vent here in the middle. You can turn it around. I prefer this to this location here. This is the alternative location, but you have to cut through the bulkhead and cut through the plastic. I decided on cutting it through here instead. Up here is the control box. This is where the exhaust comes out of. Now we're in the engine bay. You can see the control panel up here. You can see the nozzle comes out the back there. You can see cut into this plate. You can remove this plate with the bolts. Take this whole plate out, cut a hole in the plate, stick your nozzle right through it. So you're not cutting the actual body, you're cutting a removable plate. The heater itself, this is a Dave Westgard heater. You can get it on eBay or you can contact him on Facebook. This is a 2 kilowatt diesel heater. It's Chinese. Pipe goes around into an elbow through the plate. I think there's another elbow on the plate. We got quite a bit of play on here. You pull it in and out. I get the carpet around it and then I push it in. And then you can direct your feet where you want to go. There's a thermostat up here, or you can just set it by power level. 1 to 10, or just send it 22 degrees or whatever you want. I have the electrical going up behind here, all the way up through here. Take a look underneath. Exhaust is super short. See, it only goes down to here. I did have it going all the way through this bracket, but it starts to deteriorate. It's a heat shield. That's the intake for the combustion chamber. The intake for the air is just there. And the exhaust comes through here. See, it's just floating until it touches this bracket here. Out it goes. That's the 2 kilowatt diesel heater. Now let's show you the fuel. Okay, now we're on the driver's side of the engine bay. Flip the seat back. How we got the fuel. Let's see here. So this is the fuel filter. Underneath is a fuel filter that screws on, and at the bottom of it there's also a water separator valve, and that valve will actuate and drop, deal with the moisture in the fuel. And then it goes through, let's see if I can show you a pipe. Well, here's the pipe here. This is the fuel pipe here, coming out of the fuel filter assembly. The fuel pipe comes down and around and up, and it hits this T. Now this is a brass T, and then we have the diesel heater T going to the diesel heater fuel pump. The diesel heater fuel pump is attached to a copper line. This copper line goes back around the engine bay. It goes back around and comes through there. Goes underneath. There's a bracket in there that it's resting on, that all the other pipes are going through. The fuel pipe goes around the back of the engine, and then here's that copper line, and there's some protective pieces and insulation on it, and then it connects to the bottom of the heater pump. Very hard to see. There's the copper line going into the heater. It goes around into some sort of bracket that's back there. I think this is it here, somewhere back there. It goes to the other side of the engine. So back on this side of the engine, if you can see it, this pipe is the original pipe. It would go back in. That's actually a replaced pipe, but this is where the original pipe would go, and it connects into here. This is like a banjo bolt. There's at the bottom, there's another screen, another mesh that filters the fuel once more. So you have this filter, which is actually also a water separator, and then you have a screen filter there, and then also I think on the tank side there's another screen filter on the intake of the fuel for the tank side. Here's the copper line. Goes into the pump. Pump is attached to some existing bolts here. And then it tees into the main line just before it goes into the, I guess you call this a banjo bolt. But there's a screen. There's a screen behind that bolt that screens the fuel. I don't use the original Chinese diesel heater filter, fuel filter that comes with it, because I'm tapping off the filtered line from the van. Okay, let's show you the power system. You can't really see the lithium battery. It's behind a whole bunch of insulation, but that's a 100 amp hour CAN-BAT heated lithium battery. There's a, I don't know, you call this a marine filter, a fuse. Not sure what you call that. Goes into a master on and off switch. That's an AC to DC 25 amp Victron. There's underneath here, the shunt connects to that. The main batteries here. We have a second line coming off the main battery to another large fuse that goes around into the DC to DC Victron charger, which is all underneath here. So that's a Victron DC to DC 30 amp. There's a couple sub panels I added here. So this is a swap over loom, I think they call it on eBay, where you swap over the interior lights, the radio, things like that get swapped over to a different fuse box. And then I have another fuse box here, which is more of a general fuse box for tiny small things. And then I have a large fuse box here, which the cover is not on. Here's the cover for it. I'm gonna leave it off for the video anyway, but this is kind of a main fuse box. This is for large fuses, and this connects a large cable to the back of the car and to the battery. There's another fuse box in the rear. And then here is, these are the DC to DC. So one of these will go straight to the battery, the other one will go straight to the leisure battery, and then there's a common ground. And you have to have power for all this stuff. Behind here is a kind of well hidden, you can't really see it in there, but behind there is a solar charger, a Victron solar charger. It's Bluetooth, so you control it remotely. And then in here is a 500 watt pure sine Victron inverter, and I just have it on connected to one of these things. I just take it out wherever I need to because it's on an extension cord, and it's a bit sloppy, but it works, and it's all hidden away and you can't really see much. You can actually hear that it's running good now with no fuel pump on, with just the fuel that's stuck in the chamber. There's so much fuel in there. This is it burning away the excess fuel that's in that chamber. And once it does this, it'll start up fine the next time. This is only because we disconnected all the system and everything, and And I think it got some air in the line, or some fuel got away from the chamber a little bit. It just needed a little bit more priming. That means that out here, this is getting warmer too. I can feel it. It's lukewarm. It is warm, it's not hot. It's still struggling in there. 71. But I think once it's going, once it gets hot, it'll be good. I think it'll be okay. You can see here the glow plug light is off. No glow plug, it's just the fuel pump, the power and the fan. Smoke's almost gone. Okay, this thing is up to 116, 17 there. And this is now warm to hot. It's going through this pipe here. It goes into here. It's just intaking from the engine bay. Nothing really stopping it. You don't run the engine while you're on the heater, but it's just intaking right from here. 124, 25. The smoke stopped. I don't use a muffler. I don't know. It doesn't make much noise once it's actually on and going really good. The noise never bothered me. The ticking doesn't bother me. When the engine bay is closed, when these things are closed, you can't hear it. I've added more soundproofing and insulation behind every panel. And now we're up to 137, 38. She blows right here. Sounds like she's running. I'm going to put the seats back down. So it's 9 degrees Celsius, and the diesel heater's been running at 22 degrees Celsius for a few hours now. It says it's 21 in the car, 170 in the motor. And here it makes a little noise. It's not much, so it doesn't bother me at night. That's why I don't have the muffler on. Heat comes out of here. It's hot and it's low. If you listen carefully, you can hear the fuel pump. So yeah, diesel heater's running nice. Toasty in here is 9 degrees Celsius outside, and it's staying at 21 degrees inside with the thermostat. I got some windows open. I'll close them up now. All right, and I'll turn it off for the night. You turn it off just by holding it down. That'll do its off cycle. Off cycle takes 5 minutes.